For many, the tartan is a symbol of family, of culture, of history, and of the pride of it all. Whether a Scottish national or of Scottish descent living anywhere around the world today, many of us value this rich symbol of who we are and where we came from. But according to a common claim, the tartan was actually banned at one point by the English. Given its vast use and popularity now, it seems ridiculous to believe that the tartan was ever prohibited from use. But how true is this claim really? After the failure of the 45 Jacobite Rebellion, the British government viewed the life and structure of the Highland clans as more of a threat than ever before. Soon, the Highland clearances would begin and the collapse of the clan system would hop on a fast track. But for now, let's focus specifically on the Act of Parliament that many point to as the official ban of the Scottish tartans. In 1747, the British Parliament passed the Acts of Prescription. This was the third in a series of acts that had aimed to disarm the clan Highlanders, with the first having been established in 1716 and 1725. This new one was aimed at disarming the Highlands of Scotland and for the more effectual securing the peace of the said Highland, and for restraining the use of Highland dress. Digging deeper, we can find the specific part that addresses the use of tartans. No man or boy within that part of Great Britain, called Scotland, other than shall be employed as officers and soldiers in His Majesty's forces, shall, on any pretense whatsoever, wear or put on the clothes commonly called Highland clothes, or any part whatsoever of what peculiarly belongs to the Highland garb, and that no tartan or partly coloured plaid shall be used for greatcoats or for uppercoats, and if any person shall presume to wear or put on the aforesaid garments, or any part of them, every such person so offending shall suffer imprisonment without bail during the space of 6 months and no longer, and being convicted for a second offence, shall be liable to be transported to any of His Majesty's plantations beyond the sea, there to remain for a space of 7 years. This passage of the Act seems awfully damning, and it really was. Though there are some loopholes to point out, like for one, the fact that no mention of women using tartan or Highland clothing has been made, the Act of Prescription was still a heavy-handed blow. Of course, this act also included much more efforts to disarm the Highlanders than just policing their fashion, but to outlaw the wearing of tartan clothing in itself was completely outrageous for the Highland clansmen. The extent to which this section of the Act, known individually as the Dress Act, was enforced is a bit unknown. It seems to have fluctuated over time and throughout different parts of Scotland, but the Act still lasted for 35 years. It was finally repealed in 1782, years after the threat of a new Jacobite uprising had died down. While this ban did manage to reduce the use of tartan and Highland dress in everyday life, it almost seemed to do the opposite in other regards. These pieces became even stronger symbols of Scottish identity and would continue to stay such a significant representation of Scottishness for centuries to come. So, did the English ever ban the tartan? Well, although the cloth itself was never technically outlawed, the wearing of any Highland dress, including the tartan, was surely illegal for those solemn 35 years.